By 1950, Georgia Tann's perfect image was starting to crack. For years, she had been praised as a respected child welfare worker. But behind that reputation was a system built on lies, stolen babies, and broken families. Parents began coming forward with horrifying stories. Some said Georgia took their children for temporary care, and then the children were gone forever. Some mothers were told their babies had died shortly after birth. But years later, some of those so-called dead children were discovered alive, adopted under different names. And many of the children who passed through the Tennessee Children's Home Society never knew the truth at all. Their birth certificates had been changed. Their original identities were buried. Their families were told lies. And their new families often had no idea they had adopted a stolen child. Georgia didn't just steal children. She stole entire bloodlines. She sold babies to wealthy families in places like New York and California. The more desirable the child, the higher the price. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and healthy infants were treated like luxury goods. But not every child was chosen. The children who were sick, disabled, or harder to place often suffered the most. Many were neglected. Some died from illness, starvation, or abuse. At least 19 children connected to the home were later found buried in an unmarked cemetery lot in Memphis. But many believe the true number was much higher. Then, in 1950, Tennessee Governor Gordon Browning ordered an investigation. The truth was finally beginning to surface. But Georgia Tann never stood trial. Just days before the case exploded publicly, she died of cancer. No courtroom, no prison sentence, no real confession. The Tennessee Children's Home Society was shut down soon after, but the damage was already done. Thousands of children had been taken. Families were permanently separated, and decades later, survivors were still using DNA tests and old records to find out who they really were. Georgia Tann died before justice could reach her, but her victims lived with the consequences for the rest of their lives. Because sometimes, the monster isn't hiding in the dark. Sometimes she's standing in broad daylight, holding adoption papers.